On this channel, I'm pretty much always positive about credit cards. That is, unless the credit cards are simply terrible credit cards. Have you seen my worst credit cards video? But other than that, I'm generally positive about credit cards because I have a decent understanding of the game and understand how to use credit cards as a tool. Even with this knowledge, there are things to be hated about credit cards. In today's video, we will go over the top 5 most hated things about credit cards, and there's one of those things that I personally have a love-hate relationship with. So stay tuned to find out. Hey everyone, CJ here. I talk about credit cards, finance topics, and apparently I also do hotel reviews when I redeem points. If any of that sounds interesting to you, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. For those of you who are watching my channel, only a small percentage of you are subscribed, so help me to grow this number by hitting that subscription button. It really does help this channel out a lot. One of the most hated things about credit cards is simply having your credit line reduced without any warning. I don't have a comprehensive list to share with you all to discuss which credit card issuers are notorious for this. However, what's more important is that all credit card issuers reserve the right to reduce your credit line at any time that they deem necessary. I'll share 2 common reasons why a credit card issuer may reduce your line of credit. Reason number 1 simply is you started missing your payments. Once you start missing payments, your credit score can begin to decline, which, if you think about it, can mean that you may no longer qualify to have the line of credit that the credit card issuer initially gave you access to. So they may use that as one of the reasons to adjust your line of credit. This may sound a bit far-fetched, but fun fact, in 2020, during the height of the pandemic, nobody knew what would happen and there were a lot of people losing their jobs. Credit card issuers actually re-evaluated credit lines, and a Lending Tree survey found that approximately 34% of cardholders had at least one of their credit limits reduced during that time. Another reason why your line of credit may be reduced is because you're beginning to show risky behavior. Let's say out of a $10,000 credit limit, you typically charge between $500 to $1,000 on the card every month and pay it off. If all of a sudden you start to leave a balance on your credit card and your balance is approaching $6,000 or $7,000, the credit card issuer can view this as a signal that you're in financial turmoil, and in order to protect their interests, they can reduce your line of credit. This can potentially have a significant impact to your credit score as well. This is an example of something that can be the really dark side of credit cards. Credit card issuers are very, very smart. If you take a look at their marketing, they are absolute geniuses. Here's an example of that. What's in your wallet? You probably already know which credit card issuer that slogan belongs to. When it comes to overspending, it's the marketing that can really get you to spend more and more money if you aren't careful. And one of the biggest marketing ploys is the sign-up bonus, also known as the welcome offer, because there's usually a minimum spend requirement attached to qualifying for that sign-up offer. On top of this, some credit card issuers present you with limited time offers at specific retailers that can save you money or help you to get additional reward points. I've experienced these offers with both Chase and American Express credit cards. Seeing an offer to get $5 off or $25 off of your next purchase at a particular retailer can get you to think about the things that you need to purchase from that retailer so that you do not miss out on saving money. So be careful, credit cards can be very tempting. At the beginning of this video, I hinted about something that I have a love-hate relationship with when it comes to credit cards, and it's this exact thing right here. If you go back to some of my really old videos, and by the way, don't do that because those videos are terrible and kind of embarrassing. But that's how we all start YouTube, right? Anyway, I vaguely remember stating that I would not consider credit cards with an annual fee because I felt like it was silly to pay a fee to be able to spend my own cash. Now look at me, I have 2 credit cards with annual fees. I still do not like having to pay an annual fee because the credit card issuers make money on each transaction anyway. But the reason why I don't like annual fees is because I have to be very cognizant on whether I'm receiving earning value that outweighs the annual fee that I'm paying to hold that credit card. This means that I cannot go for every single credit card there is with an annual fee, even when the welcome offers are very, very attractive. I know I said this before, but it bears repeating. The Amex Platinum is not a card that makes sense for me to hold right now because I travel occasionally, and with its high $695 annual fee and its earning reward structure focused on travel categories, this card just doesn't make sense for me right now, even though it comes with anywhere between a 100,000 to 150,000 membership reward points sign-up bonus offer. Very tempting offer. I would absolutely love to have those points, but it makes no sense whatsoever for me, at least not right now. If you want more info on this, check out Chad's video on this from Chad's Money Minutes, where he goes in depth on this topic and does a very good job explaining this. Credit cards are pretty awesome and they're an amazing tool if used responsibly. However, if you do cross into the irresponsible territory, you can be faced with some really tough penalties. From late fees to over the limit fees to percentage rate increases to being blacklisted from a credit card issuer. All of these penalties that can come from using a credit card irresponsibly can be pretty serious. I once read a story, I think it was on Reddit, about this individual who had discovered credit cards, but they did not use them responsibly. If I'm remembering correctly, this individual actually had to file bankruptcy because they were way over their heads with credit card debt and had a long and hard lesson to learn. So they did learn their lesson, cleaned up their credit habits, was able to build a really good credit score and build a good relationship with another credit card issuer. However, they decided to try to go back to Discover. Now keep in mind, this is like around a decade or more later. This individual stated that they were automatically denied for a credit card. It didn't matter that their credit score was good, nor did earning a higher salary help them out as well. The fact that they were unable to repay that debt that they racked up was enough for them to probably never be offered a credit card through Discover ever again. So as fun as having a credit card can be, make sure that you understand that irresponsible usage can potentially result in some really harsh penalties. The fifth and final thing I hate about credit cards is that it is a little too difficult to get started. Nowadays, it's a bit easier because there's so much information on the internet, but when I got started, there wasn't much help out there. There weren't a lot of credit card YouTubers talking about this subject, so I kind of didn't know where to go. All of the banks that I had a relationship with, and it was only 2 banks by the way, but they both denied me because my income wasn't high enough and my credit history was limited. And since it is so difficult to get started, it gives room to terrible credit card issuers to target beginners with their credit cards. I remember receiving an invitation from one of these companies, and when I read his name, I actually thought it was Capital One because it looked pretty similar, but at least back then, I actually Googled the company and found some not so positive reviews, so I was able to stay away from that company. But for someone who's new to credit cards, they may not know there are beginner credit cards that they should apply for, and mid-tier credit cards and top-tier credit cards that they most likely should avoid, at least at the beginning stage in their credit card journey. I think the only company that makes it very clear which credit card is for which credit level is Capital One. When you take a look at Capital One's website, you can see which credit cards are for building credit, fair credit, good credit, and excellent credit. If you have things that you hate about credit cards, be sure to leave a comment down below. To my fellow credit card YouTubers who watch my channel, I would like to see some of you chime in on this topic, maybe create a video. Of course, if it fits within your schedule, there is absolutely no pressure to this at all, but it would be fun to see if some of you can participate. That would be pretty cool. But anyway, you made it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel for more, and hey, you made it to the end, you know what happens. You get a high five, so come on over and get your high five.
Yeah, I just stack it up and save. Never be a day I blow 100 for a train.